I feel like Fred Rogers could have been a cult leader.
He wasn't. He was a very wholesome man who
man.
really, really, really enjoyed teaching children.
Yeah, sure.
Choking my pop.
Okay.
And he was such a good advocate too for like
He must have had something like, even if it was like really like slight, like some like dark little secret that he just like did in
Dude,
secret.
I am so ready for them to expose some deep dark Fred Rogers dirty secret.
Like it could be something as innocent, like he loves to jaywalk. I'd be like, oh yeah.
Oh,
that
no.
way.
Four score and 3 years ago, construction South Dakota finished on Mount Rushmore depicting the four former U.S. presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, and Abe Lincoln. Today, we create our own Mount Rushmore on the topic Tom Hanks characters. So the big question is, what's your Rushmore? I'm your host, Troy, aka TAC1421. Joining me today are two lovely people. We have Dan, aka Dan Bulldor.
Hello.
And we have Mr. Paper Napkin himself.
Yo.
AKA, you ready for all these? I got
Hit me with it.
All right.
Oh man.
AKA Captain Paper.
Oh.
AKA Saving Private Paper.
Oh.
Ooh.
AKA Paper Story 4.
Hang on a second.
AKA
These
Big
sound
Paper.
like pigs.
Are you
AKA
leaking something?
Sleepless in Paper.
Oh.
AKA Extremely Loud, Paperly Close.
That
AKA
accurately describes me, yeah.
The Paper Express.
Oh.
AKA
Ooh.
Paper and Demons. AKA
Nice.
the Paper Code. It's my personal favorite one.
That was a good
AKA You Got a Friend in Paper.
Wow, that's like
Ooh.
Or
two things
AKA
there.
You Have a Paper in Me.
I mean, I thought we were not going to talk about that weekend.
Anyways, if you didn't realize, we are talking about Tom Hanks' characters in this one. It's episode 47. We are recording on T-minus 2 days for 420. So,
Yep, that's how you say it.
418.
Yep.
It's 418. This will, I don't know when this is going to come out, to be honest. Hopefully
You should
this
put it out
weekend.
on 420. Put it out on 420.
Well, you have to realize I just started a new job, and I've been traveling a lot. And
True. Yeah, busy guy.
Maybe I told you guys, my car got hit in the parking lot, which
What?
it was
Yeah.
parked. It was parked. My parked car got hit in the parking lot. So I've been dealing with that. I've been dealing with a lot. there's a lot going on, and currently when I'm recording right now on my desk that I have, there's a lot of stuff on the desk. There's some Walking Dead comics. There's a lot of Pokemon cards, like a lot. There's some German Pokemon cards. There's some regular Pokemon cards. There's some cards that already rotated. I have 3 championship League Cup mats on my desk. Not to, just a little bit of flex there.
A little humble brag. Yeah.
Little humble brag.
Have you tried cleaning up?
They're just in the way, I don't know what to do with these 3 championship placemats.
Win another one and put it on your dinner table as like
Placemats.
Placemats. That'd be so crazy.
yeah, bust out the fine china, bust out
We're
4
busting
championship
out the
mats.
fine china. To be fair, I do have 4 cup wins in my career, if we were going to call it a career. I'm putting air quotes there, career. I won 1 in 2019, and then I won 3 in a row this year. So
You did.
I do have 4. So that's enough for a play set of China.
So when's the dinner party?
You're all invited.
I hope so.
It's actually 2 days from now.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're talking about Tom Hanks characters. I was thinking, and it's up to you guys. If we want to answer this question, I'll ask the question. But before I ask the question, do we want to answer? Do we want to answer this before or after we do our picks? So the question is, what movie or TV show or any whatever play that Tom Hanks has not been in, like, what character would you like him to play? Like, if you had like a ton of money, you could pay him like a couple $1,000,000 to play a particular character in a show or a movie. Like, what would that be? I know my answer because I thought about it, but should we answer this question after or before we start doing our picks?
I think I need some time to think on that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. So we'll wait until later on to answer that. But while you're playing along, you could ask yourself, you listeners out there, all 5 of you, if you want to, what Tom Hanks character would you like to see? Because clearly Tom Hanks has a wide range. One thing I did realize is he plays a lot of like captains.
It's true. Yeah.
Anyways, so how have you two lovely folks been? Don't all speak
Been
at
good.
once. Okay, cool. Paper,
Yeah.
have you been?
Yeah, pretty good. Just super busy with work. It's the time of year, but the rain has finally gone away, so it's no longer super depressing in Vancouver. So that's always a plus.
Yeah, we had to go during the depressing times.
I mean,
We
no,
had-
it only
we
rained
had
a
I mean,
little.
it was still gorgeous.
We
Love
had
that
some
city.
really nice days here in Ohio, and it rained a lot, which was weird. We had a combination of the two. Oh, yesterday, fun story. I played sand volleyball, outdoor sand volleyball, for like in a rec league, which was really
Oh,
cool, really
what?
fun.
Nice.
Is it not like really, really cold?
No, it was like 60 degrees. It just had rained.
Nice.
It's
I
not
love beach volleyball.
Yeah, sure. I'm not in California. It's not like super sunny out, but
Look, I'm
it's not-
taking my mental note from
it's not
living
like
in
20
Western
degrees
New York.
out.
Like my mental note of Western New York this time of year, it's either 82 and beautiful or it's still snowing somehow.
Fair.
And there is no in between. It's one or the other. So,
Fun.
yeah,
Fun.
but I just assume most of the East Coast is the same way, but I'm glad I'm wrong because beach volleyball is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's cool. When I took on the sales job, and I'm trying to figure out different places to sell our beer and stuff. And one of the places was a bowling alley that has an outdoor volleyball court during the summertime. So they
Interesting.
they have sand volleyball leagues that go on like 6 days a week. There's plenty of different leagues to join. I joined like the co-ed, like very like low level beginner friendly league, and
Nice.
you play 3 games each week against the same team. And I mean, we actually managed to win a game, which was cool. We still lost 2-1, but the first game we were getting like killed. I think we lost like 21 to. I don't even think we got double digits. I think it was like maybe like 7 or 8. And I was like, oh boy, this is not going well. Second game, they only had a 5-person rotation. It's 6-on-6, but they like purposely sat one person out at all times.
Oh,
And it was pretty close. I think we got to about like 15 points, which was cool.
nice.
But then the third game was like, okay, now we're a team. Like we went through diversity and we overcame it, and we're hitting the ball well. We're communicating.
Getting that chemistry going. Yep.
There's a little bit of chemistry, sure. we're clearly still not all that great at volleyball, although some of us have played volleyball before. I'm pretty bad myself, but yeah, and we actually managed to win the last game, which was really cool. And they were at full strength. We were playing 6-on-6 the entire time, so it's not like they were sitting like 5 people out. Yeah, so that was kind of cool. Anyways, we're not here to only talk about beach volleyball and how bad I am, but we are here to talk about Tom Hanks characters. Dan, how do we figure out how to do this one?
What?
It's another trick question. It's another trick question.
Yeah, like you never.
This was
just
one-
a random one. This is just a random
that
one.
I've
You
been wanting to
texted
do
me
for a
one
long
day.
time. All right, this has been up there on my list of ones to do for a long time. I think Tom Hanks, as I said before, does a plethora of different roles. You like that use of plethora?
Plethora. Wow.
Yeah, that's
That's some big words.
That was a pretty good. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. I think we should just call it here. I think that's a wrap.
All right.
great episode.
Great
Good
episode,
job,
boys. Episode 47.
Dude, I loved your Rushmore.
Like, subscribe, follow, share to all your friends. Okay, anyways. If you've never listened to an episode of What's Your Rushmore, first of all, what are you doing? Go ahead and check out the archive of amazing content. We are on Podbean. We are on Apple Podcast. We're on my YouTube channel at TAC1421 Games, where you can check out that and some other stuff of me when I was younger, doing some cool things with friends, like playing Minecraft and Pokemon. And we are also on Spotify. So those are like the big 4. That's the Rushmore of what platforms we're on.
The Rushmore of podcasters or podcatchers.
Sure. Anyways, what we do here is on Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. Remember, Dan, it's in South Dakota. There's the 4 presidents. Dan, pop quiz. What are they? What are the 4 presidents?
Tom Hanks, Tom Hanks, Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks.
Cool. So in South Dakota, there's 4 Tom Hanks, and we're making our own Mount Rushmore on Tom Hanks and Tom Hanks, Tom Hanks. You get it?
Yeah.
Got it?
See?
Good. Yeah, we're gonna draft basically 4 different Tom Hanks characters. Once someone takes a character, no one else can have it. It's theirs. It can only be on their Rushmore. So order matters. And I'm gonna try something this episode because we'll see how this goes.
Oh.
We are going
I'm
we're
intrigued.
going to try to call Ant 1520. Aiden.
Oh.
Again?
We're going to try to call him. He's going to pick the order for us.
Oh, a celebrity pick.
Ooh.
I like it.
Oh, is he? We'll see if he joins. If he doesn't join, my plan's ruined.
We can kick it back in here.
Okay.
So, guys,
And how we
I have
normally
a-
determine the order of the draft is we ask a question. And this episode, I believe Dan has a question for us.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, wow. Cool. That's great because
Okay.
I don't have a question. And what I was going to do, and this would never work out, is I was actually going to try to call Aiden and see if he picks up. And if he didn't,
I hear that guy's a
then
flake.
we'd kind of be a little screwed. So,
Yeah.
He's just a
so I'm
busy
really
guy.
glad that you have a question prepared for this episode
know,
for
right?
us. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. So,
But before we get to the
Tom-
question,
oh,
do we want to shout out any episode? Dan, do you have anyone that you want to recommend?
all right, guys. I really want you to go and listen to our last episode that we did,
I agree.
which was on
Yeah.
which it was so fun doing Rushmore on Dr. Seuss books. I had such a good time with these fellows that you should go back and listen to that, but not right now since you're listening to this one. Wait until this one's over.
I
and
don't
then go
know.
listen to
I
that
feel
one.
like this episode, no matter what
we're gonna have
do,
callbacks. Like
It's
It's
not
already
going
off
to
to a
live
rough
up. It's not
start.
going to live up to the Dr. Seuss pod. Let's be real.
Sure. Yeah.
We got to set our expectations. Sure, this one might be great,
Wow.
but the Dr. Seuss one is legendary. All right,
yeah,
that
it's
one,
top tier.
that was phenomenal. That was a phenomenal episode. So, I agree. Go check out the Dr. Seuss books podcast. All right, Dan, your question.
Yes. So Tom Hanks.
But before we get
We
to
all
that,
know
no, I'm
him.
just kidding.
Not again. Yeah. So Tom Hanks. We know him. We hopefully love him. And this man has been acting.
I actually
for
don't like the guy.
You don't?
No.
Never heard of him.
Wow. Wow. All right. Well, then that's going to make it hard because this man has been acting for a very, very, very long time.
Okay.
Acting for so long that across the world, he has a lot of awards for being in films.
Ooh.
Okay.
So, from you guys, I would like to know how many Oscars has Tom Hanks won?
420.
For context, this man has won 97 total awards around the world with 209 nominations worldwide.
Wait,
To
did
put
you
it
just
in
give us the
context of-
answer? I'm so confused.
No, I
No,
did not
that's
give you the
like-
answer.
that's like
I'm giving
every-
you the context of like how many awards around the world he has won. Included in that number is also his Oscar wins and nominations.
Okay.
But-
okay.
I want you guys to guess a letter, and the letter will be a range of.
Oh, okay.
So, let's do this. So, has
I'm getting confused.
So-
Let me write
so-
that down.
okay.
I'm getting
Four.
confused as well.
oh no,
I
oh,
need
God.
a calculator.
All right. So, has Tom Hanks won A, 2 Oscars, B, 4 Oscars, C, 6 Oscars, or D, 10 Oscars?
Oh. Who's guessing? Who's guessing first?
You're typically the host, so I'm gonna let paper go.
Okay.
I feel like I always get to answer the question first, though, and I always get it right.
You do. You are very good at getting it right. You narrow it down. You maybe even hypothetically have enough time with your multiple screens to look up the question, to answer the question.
I have one screen. It's super big though, and I would never cheat.
Never.
Never ever.
I feel like 10 is way too many, so I'm gonna go with 6. I think that was C, right?
See? That is correct.
Wow.
Right.
What? This is so rigged.
I give you a chance.
Did I already screw it up?
He keeps
Wait, is
getting
that the
it
wrong
right.
answer?
Hold on.
When was the last time that you got a question wrong?
It doesn't happen, man.
You should just go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I should be on Jeopardy. I could be the next Ken Jennings.
I don't know. I don't think so. There's not multiple choice on Jeopardy.
Hey guys, I might have
That's
just
true.
screwed it up.
What?
What? Recount?
Yeah, recount.
Are we talking like Oscars as a leading role?
Oscar wins. 1, 2, 3. No, it's wait. Yeah, 6. Wait, no, he was nominated 6 times.
And did he win the 6th?
But did he win any of them?
He must have at least 6. I feel like this is easy. to find.
He only has 1. What?
That wasn't
That wasn't even an
an
option.
answer.
I know it wasn't. I'm dumb. IMDb, why would you lie to me like this? All right,
Won
we need
an
a,
Oscar.
we need a
don't
new
know-
question.
I don't know whether to cut this entire segment out or leave it in.
But this has never happened before.
This is
No, leave it for
because
the
normally
Patreon.
I ask the questions and I know the answers to them.
Dan,
hot seat, hot seat,
you had one chance and you messed it up.
hot seat. All right, start the episode over.
Okay.
Editor, edit it all back.
I'm going to go get a coin. I'm going to flip said coin. If Paper gets it right,
Oh.
he gets to choose the order. If he gets it wrong, I get to choose the order. Dan, you are out of the running for deciding.
fine.
The order,
I deserve it. I
for
deserve
deciding
it.
the order of the draft. All right, hold on. Let me go get a coin. Oh yes. All right. I got a coin. Tails is Mount Rushmore. Oh, you
Oh,
can't really see it, can you?
kind of see it, yeah.
Well, I mean, I can see it perfectly fine. Listeners at home, though,
Can you
Just
actually see the
imagine.
coin?
no,
can you
I
see-
can't.
Now you're just blinding him.
Now you're blinding us.
flash. Okay, yeah, we
Oh.
can see it. Oh, it's so
Oh,
glorious.
dang. I see all 4 Tom Hanks.
Patriotic.
Okay, so that is tails,
All right.
and then
What's
heads
heads?
is George Washington.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Wait, wouldn't it be
How are
heads
you
on
gonna
both
see it? I
sides?
don't understand how you can see this.
Wouldn't it be
Huh?
heads on both sides since
Ooh,
George
you're
Washington
right.
is on
George
both sides of the
Washington-
coin?
Washington's on both sides. Ooh, tricky,
Ooh.
tricky.
Don't cheat.
Well, no, because Tom Hanks is on the 4 sides, and then
Oh, fair. Okay, yeah,
I
you got
am
me.
gonna have such a fun time editing this episode. This is gonna be so great.
It's definitely not coming out on 420 now.
No, it's not. Okay, so I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna put it on my wrist, and then I'm gonna
Yep.
attempt to show the camera
Sure.
for you guys to see.
Okay.
Well, for Paper and Dan. So yeah, Paper, you can call it once I flip it.
Okay. I'm gonna
don't
say Mount Rushmore side.
Rushmore. It is not Rushmore.
Wah, wah.
It is not. I had to choose the order.
You do.
Now that we're 50 minutes into the episode. Well, I was not prepared for this because I don't usually. Okay. I
burden, man.
will go. Oh, I'm gonna go first. I don't want to go. I don't know.
Man's been offloading the burden
Do
on
I
us
go?
for...
Do I go third? Oh, this is tough.
See? Now he understands.
There's 3 that I really want.
But do you think any of us are going to go for him?
Do you think
Yes.
Dan's gonna pull a Dan and snipe your favorite again?
I'm gonna go first. Dan, you can go second. Paper third.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
I don't get back to backs.
Yeah, we're already 30 minutes into the episode. Okay. We'll
Well, we're cutting like 15 minutes
I'm
of
gonna
it.
cut a lot of it. we'll be right back.
Well done! Well done! Wilson! Wilson! I'm sorry! I'm sorry, Wilson! Wilson, I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Wilson! I can't! Wilson! Wilson!
All right. We are back from our break. I would be doing a disservice to the amazing actor Tom Hanks and to the world and to myself and to this
you didn't like him.
podcast if I didn't, with my first pick in the draft, pick the FedEx executive Chuck Nolan as my first pick.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, fair enough.
For those who do not know, but who would not, that is from the great movie known as Castaway. One of the greatest movies of all time. It's really a movie that if I see it on TV, I don't mind just leaving it on and watching the rest of it, no matter how far into it is. Whether it's the first scene, the middle scenes, the final scenes, or somewhere in between those scenes. I love me some Castaway with Tom Hanks. Wilson.
Wilson!
Wilson.
said.
I'm sorry, Wilson. Whoa, was that Tom? Did Tom Hanks just join the call real quick?
You got the hookup.
That was Tom Hanks right there. How many times do you think Tom Hanks hears Wilson, like when he's like walking away from something?
Oh, he probably hates it so much.
Dude, it's been 24 years since that movie came out. Like, there's no way he doesn't hear it like on a daily basis.
That movie is so amazing. So it was 2000, and the entire premise of the movie is there is a crash, and Tom Hanks is on isn't he on like a FedEx thing?
I'm
Like
gonna be
a-
real with you. I've never seen this movie.
Are you serious?
What?
What?
I love Tom Hanks.
my!
I
Who
love
invited this guy?
I love Tom Hanks, and it hurts me that I've seen basically every other Tom
Oh.
Hanks movie except for Castaway, and I know.
Oh,
You were. Oh my god! Like in the text chat, you were so proud about being a Tom Hanks fan, and you've never
Dude,
seen
I-
Castaway.
Yeah, because I've
Oh.
got some really good deep cut picks.
it only got a 7.8 out of 10 like stars. I don't know like what that really means. But this is one of the greatest movies of all time. Maybe I wouldn't go that far, but it is amazing. Yeah, I'm shocked by the fact that he hasn't seen this movie before. But yeah, so I mean, basically, like he gets cast away and on an island, and this guy Chuck Noland, and he has to try to like survive, and try to keep hope, and I mean, it's kind of crazy how well he acts. He acts because majority of the movie is just him by himself. So
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I think this is a perfect example of showing his range as an actor, because this is unlike, I don't know if many people could have done this movie. Sure, like I think maybe like Christian Bale probably could have done this, like lost a ton of weight in between scenes and like been a crazy person on an island. But there's not too many people that really could have pulled this movie off, and I don't think it would make sense for this movie to have anyone else as the lead actor in it. So that is my first pick. Paper, your thoughts, because Dan hasn't seen this.
Yeah, I think like you hit it on the head there. Like he's by himself acting solo the whole way through. It's interesting though, like when I watch it, and since the first time I watched it, now all I see is Tom Hanks in the movie. Like I don't see Chuck Nolan, I just see Tom Hanks.
Sure.
But he acts so well as if he was actually stranded on the island that it
Exactly.
makes sense. Like you
Yeah.
feel like it's real. And so I think that's what I really like about his performance in Castaway. It's like
Yeah.
even though he's Chuck Nolan,
Yeah.
it's
You
Tom
kinda-
Hanks on an island.
You kind of believe that like he spent a couple years on an island like himself.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
there happened to be like a camera crew, like he was on like Survivor or something, or like I don't know, like he was just kind of,
Just busts out the immunity idol.
or what's the show, like Alone and Afraid or something like that,
Naked and Afraid.
Naked and
Yeah.
Afraid. I don't know, like he's like on one of those shows. Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have Tom Hanks. It's gonna go in my one slot, and he's gonna be holding Wilson the volleyball, like kind of like hugging it in his arms.
He was reunited.
Yeah. So
That's lovely.
that's that. Yeah. There's gonna be on the mountain. There's gonna be a Wilson shop where you can buy Wilson products, but all of the volleyballs and tennis balls have like the Wilson face, which was Tom Hanks's like bloody hand.
Nice.
That's how it made the face. You know,
Did they
funny
take a
enough, they
little
actually
piece
came
of it
out
home?
with volleyballs that had that on it.
Really?
Yeah, like you for a period of time you can buy it in like the stores and actually like play with it. It was like an actual volleyball. So, all right. Well, Castaway's my first pick. And we're going to go over to Dan with his first pick.
Yeah. You know, I'm on the fence on what one I want to take first because there are a lot of deep cuts that I know you guys definitely do not know
Okay, yeah,
that
sure.
Tom Hanks was in.
For sure. yeah.
Or if I should go with one that's very, very just Tom Hanks that he's very well known for. So I think, yeah, I'm probably going to go with the one that everyone knows him from other than Castaway. But I am going to go with what is actually it's actually my favorite Tom Hanks movie is Forrest Gump.
Good pick. Good pick.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a safe pick, but I absolutely love this film. It's some, I don't know why it just struck a nerve with me as a kid where I just loved it so much, and my mom always loved having it on the background because my mom loves history. So all the things they changed in history to make Forrest Gump just like a part of like the 60s. Like, it's such a fun movie, and I think it's just like a beautiful story of just literally if you just keep going, just run, Forrest, run, you can do anything. And also invest in Apple back in the 70s.
Yeah, just be extremely lucky at every single thing that you do.
Yeah. Just be the only ship that survived a hurricane. Be the one kid who just keeps, running.
The one person that doesn't get shot in Vietnam.
Yeah, the one guy. No, he got shot in the ass.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, shot in the ass.
Okay.
Something
Spoilers.
bit my
The
bottom.
last person to get shot.
All
His
right.
napalm falls.
Since we're being brutally honest this episode, and Dan said that he had never seen Castaway.
Have you never seen Forrest Gump?
I've never seen Forrest Gump.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Can I? Wow.
Lieutenant Dan.
Where am I?
Bubba.
Yeah.
Bubba.
Well, you should definitely watch Forrest Gump, just
I
as
will.
Dan should definitely watch Castaway.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll watch it at the same time in the same room. 2 different TVs.
Or just do like a Tom Hanks marathon. That'd be fun.
That's what we're going to do in 2 weeks when we see each other again.
Nice.
Reunited and it feels so good. All right. Anyways, yeah, I guess good pick.
I think it's a really good pick. I love Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things I like about Tom Hanks in that movie is that, even though Forrest goes through like so many crazy life experiences, Tom Hanks is like super consistent in his delivery of Forrest Gump. Like he doesn't change. Like he's always Forrest Gump. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I just love how he was just always unapologetically just himself in the movie. Like Forrest just didn't care. And I mean, granted, I guess that's just how you would be if you were a man with such a low IQ. But
Yeah.
he's just such an inspiration and it's just such a good story.
Definitely.
And yeah, I absolutely love this movie. It is, yeah, it's genuinely one of the best films ever made. So please watch it if you've never have. Please, Troy.
All right. I'll take tomorrow off and watch Forrest Gump.
Yes. I'll take tomorrow off and watch Castaway.
Deal. All right. What are you doing with your Rushmore?
I am going to put Forrest Gump. Just with the Abe Lincoln top hat and everything,
Ooh.
just being all honest and just cool and just sitting there stoically with his shrimp and his ping pong paddle, just living his life, just like Cross, just living his life.
In the 3 slot?
No, in the 4th slot.
In the
Abe Lincoln.
non-Abe Lincoln slot?
No, in the Abe Lincoln slot.
Oh, he's in the 4th slot?
Yeah.
Let me check my quarter real quick. You are correct. Lincoln
I may
is in
know the
4th
order,
slot.
but I don't remember who the second president on the Rushmore.
It's
I
Thomas
think we know
Jefferson.
this by now.
Washington,
know.
Jefferson, Roosevelt, Lincoln. Got it, get it, good. All right. Paper. It's time for your first pick.
Okay. Yeah, I mean Castaway, Forrest Gump, they're on the top of my list, but I've got a good list here, so I'm not sad where I'm picking. So for my first pick, I'm gonna go with Captain John Miller from Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Canadian
that's-
goes with that pick?
It was
Dude,
on my list. You
it's
took
a-
my next pick.
Oh,
Absolutely phenomenal movie, amazing performance by Tom Hanks. Like you think of a World War II movie, like this is the one I recommend to people to watch.
Yeah.
I was going to take this first, but I chose Castaway.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
mean,
should have taken this.
It's a good, like all of the first 3 picks, top 3 picks. Like I agree with
Yeah.
them, so I think
Yeah,
I'm happy
this
with either one. But yeah, I think what I really like about Tom Hanks in this movie compared to say like Castaway and Forrest Gump is that he's a lot more subtle in his acting. He's not like this standout, he doesn't have like a certain thing that like draws attention to him. He's obviously like the leader of his squad, but he does it like with full composure. Like he's just a normal guy, and like there's a lot of subtle things throughout the movie that he does to like act, which I think is really cool to see.
Yeah. I will say, like, the more times you watch this movie, the more times you're like, whoa, he was in this? He was in this? Like, oh, I don't realize he was in this. Like, it's an insane cast. Like, there
It's
are
true.
Yeah.
so many good actors in this movie. Some of them, like, before they kind of had, big roles. Some of them were in there for, for like really, really short amount of time. But yeah, I mean, one of the ones that like I always forget was Vin Diesel was in there.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he was.
Vin
Guys.
Diesel. I'll just go through a couple of the ones that were like standouts to me. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Bryan Cranston was in here, which is kind of weird. Nathan.
Wait, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a very small role, but he's in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Ryan Hurst, which
Yep.
this was I feel like this was, I mean, just looking at him real quick, that was probably one of his first like parts. I mean, I don't really know for sure,
Oh my god.
but
Paul
that was
Giamatti's
one of
in
his
here.
first,
Ted Danson.
yeah.
Yeah, this is like 1998. A lot of the first time for these people on screen.
Yeah. But also one important thing about this movie, and since we are picking Tom Hanks characters, we're not picking Tom Hanks like
Roles.
movies, so we're not picking things that he like directed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of because of this movie that he decided to do Band of Brothers.
I was looking at that because I know he
Yeah.
produced it.
Exactly. So he like produced Band of Brothers, and he went on to do The Pacific.
Yeah.
And
Right.
those two movies, like, or not, they're not movies, they're series,
Yeah.
are just absolutely amazing.
Phenomenal.
Like,
yeah, amazing
like
stuff.
if you have any interest in World War II at all, those two
What are you doing?
are like must watch. Yeah, like absolute, like just phenomenal series. I've seen them. I've seen Band of Brothers more times than I've seen the Pacific. I've only seen the Pacific, I think, twice. Both are very heavy duty. Like, don't watch more than an episode in a night. Sometimes I'll watch two in a night, but like they are very heavy duty series. But definitely recommend them. And but yeah, I mean that's all I really have to say about it. I think Tom Hanks did a phenomenal job in this movie. It was a very good movie. I don't think it was Tom Hanks' best like acting as far as his movies
I
go, but it was one of the best movies that he was in, if that makes sense.
I see. I disagree. I think the fact that like, I think it was one of his best performances at how subtle it was and like how intentionally subtle it was. Like I think there was a lot of like every time I rewatch it, there's like little slight things that he does throughout the movie that you don't catch on first pass, and you're like, whoa, he's been doing this the entire time, or like he purposely is doing this. Like, and when you know
Okay,
more about his
okay.
character at the end, it makes sense. But yeah,
Like I think for me, this movie really showed me how. I mean, granted, I didn't see Castaway, so what I'm about to say is gonna probably be, yeah. But this was like the first Tom Hanks movie where I saw Tom Hanks not as like a father figure, but as a like this rugged man for the first time. Because like other like I'm not going to talk about other picks that he's done, but
okay.
he's like this is the first time I've seen him do something like not a comedy where it was just this dark war drama that
True, like more
was just
serious.
that it was very serious in comparison to the rest of the work that I've seen him in going up to this point. So it was a very big shock when I eventually saw this movie when I was in like middle school. Yeah,
And you watched this in middle school?
loved it.
Like this is such like a gory.
I was like
forget
in
when
I was in
watched
like
this.
8th grade, okay?
I feel like I probably was like 6th or 7th grade maybe when I saw this for
Yeah,
the first
like
time.
you were in
Yeah.
your teens, so
Yeah.
Impressionable years.
but it's like for the history of it, and you watch it in
Definitely.
history class,
Yeah.
and they definitely skip through D-Day, and
I mean that's like the first scene. That's one of the first scenes of the movie, isn't it? Like
yeah, they
D-Day?
just they get there, they show
They
you
just
what's
go?
about to happen, you see someone die, and then they go, okay, cool, we're skipping.
Yeah, it's intense. One of my favorite characters in that movie was the sniper. I don't know who played the sniper.
That was Barry Pepper, mostly because I have the IMDb page up.
Nice. Yeah, he was really good in it too. There was a lot of really good performances in that movie.
Yeah.
Even when like Vin Diesel cried and he's like calling for his mama, like
Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, talked about this one long enough. But this was, a great, phenomenal movie. So,
yeah. For my Rushmore, I think I'm gonna put it in the first position, and it's gonna be Tom Hanks. And it's gonna be sitting in a chair. It's gonna be that scene like before the big battle at the end where they're listening to like that French music. He's just sitting in that chair, enjoying the vibe.
it's not going to be Private Ryan?
No, that's not Tom Hanks.
Oh, fair enough.
That's Matt Damon. That's a different episode.
Fair. What about the other Private Ryan?
Oh yeah, the guy that yeah. No one likes him.
That's fair. All right, time for your second pick.
Okay. What do I do? It's gonna be a while before I pick again.
Sure is.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? What you gonna take?
think I'm gonna play it safe, and I'm gonna go with Woody from Toy Story.
Fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good one. Good
I
pick.
think I really like this one, similar to what you were saying before, Troy and Castaway, where he was like solo acting, but in Toy Story, he's only voice acting.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, like you can still feel like Tom Hanks being like passionate and animated as he's like doing the vocals, and I think that
Yeah.
carries through in Woody. And so I think that really just goes to show like the talent that he has, and just using his voice to like show emotion and like communicate with other people.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, voice acting is a different skill set than it can be just as hard, right? Not everyone could do it. There are actors out there that have tried to voice act, and some aren't as great as others. But yeah, I think good voice actors, you can really tell the difference between just like, I don't know, like cameos or something, or sometimes like,
definitely.
especially like shows like The Simpsons that have been on forever, where they'll have people come in and play a character.
Or like video games, they bring in the hottest celebrity to voice a character. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's so
Yeah.
it's so flat. Like they don't
Yeah.
care.
They're like, who are
Yeah.
you? Like,
Yeah, and for the longest time, I mean, because I watched Toy Story when I was really little and for the first time, and I didn't really know who Tom Hanks was. So I didn't even know, for the longest time, I didn't even know, like, he was the voice actor of Woody. Probably until, I want to say probably until I was like, maybe like 15 or 16, because I just didn't even put two and two together.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
dang.
I mean, now it just seems so obvious, but before like the internet got big, and I don't know, just
That's true.
oh,
yeah, that's
this,
fair.
this is Toy Story. Like, there's Woody, and you never really. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like you see Tom Hanks.
No,
Sure, you'll
you
see
just
him
see
in the
Woody
credits,
as Woody.
but it's just that's Woody. Like, that's not Tom Hanks. That's
Yeah.
Woody.
Again, just goes to show how good of an actor Tom Hanks is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's got some range.
Yeah, I mean, we have 4 movies on here that are all completely different movies, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah, let's go around the table here. What's everyone's favorite Toy Story character?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I can go first. I kind of
Sure.
it's a weird one. It's a weird one, but I always love the plastic toy soldiers.
Yeah, good one.
Those, for whatever reason, I have a very like vivid memory of seeing Toy Story for the first time. I don't really remember too much when I was like for the very first time that I saw it, but I just loved that first like the toy soldier scene. Was like one of my favorite scenes in the movie for like the longest time. I don't know why, but
I liked when they came out of the bucket, like just like the sound they made, and like they linked. Oh,
yeah, and it's like just how they communicate with each other. And I had little toy soldiers, like plastic ones like that when I was little, and
Yeah.
so it just kind of that I just love that, I guess. That was probably
nice.
it's kind of it's not really, it's like a group of characters, I guess, but it's probably my favorite like
I think that counts as one.
non-popular character, I guess.
Nice. What about you, Dan?
My favorite character, 100%, is Al McWiggin.
I have no idea who that is.
Who's that? Is that the
So,
penguin?
no. So, from in Toy Story 2, he's the antagonist. Like the guy who buys Woody and
Oh, the collector guy.
yeah, the collector, the guy who works at Al's toy barn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
he's my favorite because
What
it has
about
my
him
favorite my
speaks to
favorite
you?
gif of going to work on a Saturday and drives across the street.
True. That's a good meme.
It's such a good meme. I absolutely love the Toy Story 2. Yeah. It's just a classic.
Definitely.
Well, we're talking about Toy Story 1, so I'll try to bring it back a bit. I'd say my favorite toy as a kid was probably Bo Peep. I think I had a crush
Bo
on her.
Peep.
There was just something the way she had like that glossy finish to her. Oh man.
It's just something about Bo Peep.
Your favorite character isn't Stinky Pete?
No, it's not.
I do like the pig. Now that I'm
Ham?
looking at it. Ham?
Yeah.
Ham was
Ham.
Ham was good. I liked his voice.
Ham is great.
I think now as an adult, when I rewatch Toy Story, one of my other favorite toys, it was one of Sid's toys. It was
Ooh.
it was like the doll legs with like the fishing line. Because it's a hooker. It's such like an
It
adult
is.
joke in a kid's movie.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's
funny.
so good. Honestly, looking back on it, I absolutely love Sid as an antagonist in Toy Story 1. Just because, like,
He's just a
Was he
regular
real-
kid. You mean, like,
he was just a kid he was just a
Yeah.
teenager, like, being
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah, exactly.
With toys.
Just chaotic evil.
Yes, he was blowing up toys, but he was putting them back together or something.
Or something. Yeah. Well, we didn't mention Buzz Lightyear at all, so I guess we have to mention Buzz just a tiny bit.
Nah.
No?
Over
No.
the entire
Moving on.
like series of
Forky,
movies, he did
Forky
pretty
best
good.
toy.
He grew on me.
Yeah, I always liked the dynamic between Buzz and Woody. Yeah, you know. I just
Yeah.
thought it was
It
good.
worked.
Tim Allen and Tom Hanks really did a good job together.
Yeah. I
Not
don't
as
know.
good as
I think,
Tony
I think
Hale's
Tom
Forky.
Hanks and Kelsey Grammer as Stinky Pete had a better
Wait, was it
chemistry.
actually Kelsey?
That's
Grammer?
what it says right here, but I don't know if that's true.
Bo Peep?
Stinky Pete, not Bo
Stinky
Peep.
Pete.
No Stinky Pete.
If he played Bo Peep, I would be very confused. Right now.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Oh, there's a Stinky Pete pop figure.
Oh, no.
Ooh. I like Stinky Pete. He's so evil, but great. All right, we've talked about Toy Story long enough. I feel like that's going to be like every single movie. Or
Yeah.
what you doing with your Rushmore?
Yeah. So for this one, I'm gonna go third position. Weird, I know, but it's gonna be Tom Hanks dressed up as Woody.
Okay, I was wondering if
And
you would
there's-
do that. All right.
And then there's gonna be like a cardboard cutout thing of Bo Peep. So then you can like go get your photo taken with Tom Hanks as Woody, and you get to be Bo Peep.
I'm just remembering this now. For Halloween this past year, I was at a bar dressed up as a crayon.
As
and
you do.
There's,
Yeah, just
there
as you
was,
do.
You know, there was this girl that was there that was dressed up as Woody. And,
Oh, you could have been her Bo Peep.
and yeah, it was. I don't know. We had some great conversations, but didn't really go anywhere. So
Could have brought her on the podcast.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, that would be a wild first date.
Want to come on the podcast and talk about Woody?
Okay, moving on.
I think we're back to Dan, right?
We're on to me. Yeah.
All right,
So-
dig deep for us. I want to see these like deep.
You want
cuts.
me to go deep on this one? All right,
Yes.
I won't go as so. Funny enough, thank you for bringing up Halloween, Troy, because
Oh, okay.
one of my favorite Tom Hanks characters is just the best. He
I
is
also
the
have some Toy
one-
Story socks. I just want to put that in there before I forget.
That's
All right,
so
continue.
nice. But
Jealous.
you know what's nicer?
Nicer.
Yeah, David S. Pumpkins.
Who?
You've
Huh?
never heard of David S. Pumpkins?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
So, for those in the know,
What?
David S. Pumpkins was a
There's a
character that
pop
Tom
figure.
Hanks played on SNL. They did a Halloween episode with Tom Hanks, Bobby Moynihan, and Mikey Day.
There's a pop figure of David
And
S. Pumpkins.
And basically it's just they have everyone just in an elevator going up and down, and they're like trying to scare the people in the elevator, and then they just have I'm David Pumpkins. And it's just so random and so funny and just so it's just so good. It's just one of my favorite things that Tom Hanks did.
All right.
So in terms of his acting skills, what does he highlight here different from some of his other roles?
I mean, he only has like 3 lines. So
I'm watching it now. He's the muscle control of his face is impressive.
yeah, right? Like, here's the thing. Like, when I saw David S. Pumpkins, like when I was in high school for the first time, like when I saw it for the first time, or would have had to be college, for the SNL skit. But yeah, anyways, I saw it for the first time and I was like, oh, this is funny. Like, David S. Pumpkins, that's really funny. And then on my set, like, they did a callback on SNL, so they brought him back a second time to do David S. Pumpkins. And that is when I realized that it was Tom Hanks.
Oh.
I was like, wait, that's Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Tell
And
me.
And it's not like he did anything different. It's just Tom Hanks in a wig and a pumpkin costume or a pumpkin suit.
Okay, interesting.
Great pick, Dan.
It's just one of my favorites. I love it.
Cool.
Is that a deep enough cut for you?
That was pretty deep cut.
That was so deep. I don't know what to say. I had no
Apparently,
idea this existed.
apparently the S stands for Simon.
Thought it meant scary.
David Simon Pumpkins is a fictional character played by American actor Tom Hanks, who first appeared on the October 22nd, 2016 episode of Saturday Night Live.
So I was well into college by then. So yeah, 2016, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
What would you like to do with your Rushmore?
I am putting him in the second slot, in the second Tom Hanks slot on my Rushmore. The Thomas Jefferson spot.
There you go.
Finally,
Nice.
I'm
He's
getting it.
learning.
I'm learning.
Learning.
Only took me, what, 40-something episodes?
This is the 47th episode.
We've come so far. Yeah, so he's going in the Thomas Jefferson spot, number 2.
Cool.
Just like
In a
sitting there
pumpkin suit,
but
or-
with the skeletons and him like crossing his fingers like,
Whoa.
I'm David Pumpkins. Yeah.
So we're adding skeletons to the Rushmore too. So it's no longer only Tom Hanks. You also have
Do you want it to just be Tom? Fine, it can just be Tom Hanks.
It's your Rushmore. You can do whatever you want.
You can do what you want, Dan. Don't let him pressure you.
Well,
I'm not trying to pressure you. I'm just you're speaking a high game of the fact that you only wanted Tom Hanks on your Rushmore,
fine. I'll
and
just
now
put
you're
David
bringing
S. Pumpkins up
skeletons
there.
into the mix.
You know
I'm
what?
just putting-
I think you need the skeletons because otherwise people are not going to know what it is.
Is there going to be an elevator on your Rushmore?
Oh.
We'll have to see.
Oh,
Might all change towards the
okay.
end. You never know.
Frantically
cool.
writing down notes to change it.
well,
Write that down. Write that down.
I'm glad that 2 of my top 3
Wow.
are still available. Woody was going to be my 4th pick, by the way.
Okay.
And Captain John Miller was either going to be number 1 or number 2. So we're going to have to eventually get to maybe like my 5th or 6th option later in the draft. But I'm happy that we at least get good old FBI agent Carl Hanratty. Hanratty from the phenomenal movie Catch Me If You Can. Now, Dan, please tell me you've seen this movie. Please.
I have not seen this one.
Oh my gosh.
Dan.
Paper,
I know.
Paper, have you seen
I
this
know.
movie?
Basically,
Of course, iconic.
basically anything
Leonardo
Tom Hanks was
DiCaprio,
in.
Tom Hanks.
This
Fantastic.
movie, now granted, like the main actor in this movie is Leonardo DiCaprio. It's kind of like his movie, but without Tom Hanks playing Carl Hanratty, I don't think you have like as good of a dynamic. I think
I agree.
Tom Hanks was perfect for this role.
Oh,
Also, Christopher Walken's played Frank's dad. I guess Leonardo DiCaprio's dad. But really, it's really like Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks is kind of like this movie's kind of built on. I think this is one of Leonardo DiCaprio's best movies. Obviously, he's done a lot of amazing ones, but this is probably my personal favorite. It's up there with what's it called? Inception. I think those are this and Inception are probably my 2 favorite Leonardo movies, and Tom Hanks obviously played a big role in this one. So, yeah, I think he did a really good job as like a kind of like a detective, and he kind of plays like I want to save this kid, but also we need to bring him in because he's causing a lot of problems. He's getting away with a lot. So I really don't want to spoil it for Dan because I feel like this is such a phenomenal movie. So I don't want to
here's
talk
the
about
thing.
it too
It's
much
iconic
more.
too.
Here's the thing. You don't have to spoil it because my YouTube shorts have been spoiling it for me. Like, I keep getting like the watch this cool movie from Movie Flicks, and it's just like reposts from TikTok, but it's just always from Catch Me If You Can.
Okay. So based off of these clips that you've seen, can you summarize
Yeah,
the movie
can
for
you
us?
Yeah,
please.
so it seems like, based on the clips that I've seen, it is basically Leonardo DiCaprio as a kid is basically trying to commit fraud to make money, and he goes across the country doing this, and eventually Tom Hanks, who is an FBI agent, eventually catch him. But there was a scene that I saw where he walks in and Leonardo DiCaprio somehow convinces him that he's also a part of the police, and then he escapes.
Okay.
That's all I've seen.
Yeah, you got
Pretty good.
a little bit of a gist of it. I think that would pass as like a Spark Notes type of thing.
Yep.
If you were doing a summary as like, if I was like your teacher and I'm like, please summarize this movie, Dan. Young Daniel, please summarize this movie for me. I'd consider giving you maybe a D. I'd consider
Yeah.
it. You're somewhere in that F to D range, like that, like
That's
maybe
fair.
even like below 60%. So
That's like basically how well I did in all of my English classes.
yeah.
There you go.
So yeah. Having said that, you should watch this movie. Now, do I think you should watch this or Castaway first?
Castaway.
Two extremely different movies. I think it would depend on what kind of mood you're in. Paper, you already said Castaway.
I said Castaway, but
Oh, you said Castaway?
I'm watching Castaway first. I don't
I
know
thought
what
that
you're
was
talking
Paper. I thought it
about.
was Paper saying Castaway.
We just
Paper.
sound the same.
What Paper? Which one do you think Dan should watch first?
I
let's
think-
set the scene. Let's set the scene for him.
Okay, yeah.
It's
My eyes are
a
closed.
Friday
Paint me a
night.
picture.
Alright.
He has what kind of chocolate
I'm
bar do you
imagining.
want, Dan? What kind of chocolate bar?
Yeah. What are your snacks? What do you got?
What do you got? Some popcorn,
Dude,
you have
I have some
beverage of some kind.
I have a adult beverage in hand. I have popcorn.
All right. all right.
I still have Easter candy.
Ooh. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I
Vibing.
don't think that really helped me judge which one he should watch first.
Are you by yourself, or do you have like a friend over? Like, what's the vibe? Hot date?
Yeah, hot date with my girlfriend. Yeah.
I would say watch which one she had if she hasn't seen both and we're in the same predicament. But
I feel like
Yeah.
she would probably. I don't think she's seen either of them.
I think she would get bored with Castaway, to be completely honest.
You think?
It's phenomenal, but it is just him on an island by himself for a majority of the
Yeah.
movie.
He's got a volleyball.
Sure.
Girls don't get that.
I'm saying it's a phenomenal movie. I like
Yeah.
it. I'll watch it. I'm just saying I think she would get bored of it. All right.
Okay. So
Enough. We can't go.
okay.
down
So
this tangent
Castaway
too long.
Unga Bunga. Got it.
The point is, Catch Me If You Can. Great movie. That I recommend anyone watch if you haven't. I've probably seen this. This is probably my most seen Tom Hanks movie. Now that I'm thinking about it, I've probably seen Castaway maybe 6 or 7 times. I've probably seen this movie about like 10 to 12.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a huge
more times than
fan.
me.
I'm a huge fan of Catch Me If You Can. Huge. I really like this movie. So yeah, Catch Me If You Can. Any other thoughts? Paper? Anything?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I really liked how good of a job Tom Hanks did, like kind of portraying how torn his character was with like needing to catch him, but also trying to help him. I think that came through. Yeah, good movie.
There's plenty of scenes where like he would give him like a fighting chance almost, or like,
Yeah.
hey Frank, you need to come to your senses here. And I think beginning of the movie, he's like kind of like, we just need to catch this guy. And kind of, but then later on, he's like, okay, like this is just like a kid, like this, he needs help. And he like really tries to help him. And then, I think it worked. And without his character, like, who knows? Like this, does he just like end up in jail for the rest of his life? Does he end up going down the same road and like dying because of it, or what happens to
Right.
him, right?
Yeah.
So, based off of a true story as well.
Yeah.
And I
which
know
is
Castaway
wild.
is just a documentary of Tom Hanks actually on an island
Yeah.
Getting stranded.
getting stranded.
It's just like family videos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's on a.
They just kind of put me on an island and started. They just said action, and I just went.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to put FBI agent Carl Hanratty in my. Let's go in the 2 slot. Why not? Him dressed up. He's going to be like trying to look at like a counterfeit, like bill or stamp or something. And that's going to be that for the first 2 rounds here.
Nice.
Can you concur, Paper?
I absolutely concur.
I concur as well. Okay.
Do you concur, Dan?
Dan, do you concur?
I only conquers bad fur day. I don't.
He
I
hasn't
don't know
seen
what you're
Catch Me
saying.
If You Can.
Yeah,
But I
he doesn't
concur.
get it.
He doesn't get it. I concur, though. All right. We're going to go to our last break here. And after that, we are going to come back with our final 2 rounds. Much more Tom Hanks shenanigans. I didn't say that in the first one, the first break. I didn't say we'll be right back and with more shenanigans after this. I didn't say that. I didn't do the shenanigans thing.
No?
That's one of my bits.
You can
But I didn't
edit
do
it in.
No,
Yeah,
there was
just put it in right now.
it was way too much going on that first part where I was like, whoa, like Dan asked a
All
question.
right, we just need to get this through.
That's not.
Yeah, that's
you know.
fair.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Break.
I don't know anything about Ryan. I don't care. Man means nothing to me. It's just a name. But if going to Ramel and finding him so he can go home, if that earns me the right to get back to my wife, well then that's my mission.
Rogers Hornsby was my manager, and he called me a talking pile of pig shit. And that was when my parents drove all the way down from Michigan to see me play the game. And did I cry? No! And you know why?
No.
Because there's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball! No crying!
Oh. Hey.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
So are we gonna start or?
Yep. That's the intro,
And we're back.
and we're back. So we have 2 more rounds left, 2 more picks each, and all basically my Rushmore. My 4 picks have already been like picked either by me or by other people. So that now is the question of like where do I go from here? Do I pick here's my like internal thoughts. Like, do I pick the movie that I like the most that's still up on the board, or do I pick the individual Tom Hanks character and his performance that I like the most?
I think you go with character and performance. Right?
I think
That's
we
what we're
go
doing.
with character as well. So, I am going to go with Victor Navorsky
Oh my God!
from The Terminal.
Yes, you took one of mine. I'm so proud. I didn't want to take this one. Thank you.
Why didn't you want to take? I think
Well, I would have taken
it's
it because
it's probably not in my top 8 or 9 or maybe even 10 Tom Hanks movies, but I think he did an amazing job. Like, his character and his acting as Victor Navorsky was phenomenal. So
I agree.
Paper, have you seen this one?
I have seen this one.
Okay.
Big Catherine Zeta-Jones fan.
You watched it for her, not for the Hanks.
Exactly. But I learned to appreciate Tom Hanks in the movie. But she drew me in.
Yeah, it's just kind of a weird like plot where Victor Navorsky, Tom Hanks' character, is a tourist from Europe, and he's just like at the New York airport, JFK, and he just like is basically just kind of like stuck in the airport where he can't leave back to the United States, but he also can't really go anywhere, so he's just kind of like trapped. And also, like, there's a language barrier that his character has, so he doesn't really understand right away. So he just does a great job, like, acting. Like, and it's like his facial expressions of like, what do you mean, or like, being confused. It's also one of my worst nightmares, like being trapped in an airport.
For how long was he there?
Oh, I don't know, for a very long time.
It was like years, right?
I don't know if
Because this
it
is
was
based off of the this is
I
this is
don't
based off
know.
of a true story, right?
Maybe.
Is it?
Thought it was.
Okay, here we go. What is the true story behind The Terminal? The film is partially inspired by the true story of an 18-year stay of, I'm going to butcher this name, this person, in Terminal 1 of Paris' airport, France, from 1988 to 2006. He flew to London and sent back to Paris, but lost his refugee passport. Okay. So basically, this one guy was like a refugee, couldn't go back to.
Holy shit. He landed in 1988 and left in 2006?
Wow, so that's 18 years.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's so I don't know. I don't like that's like worse than being in prison for that long. In
That is
some
awful.
aspects, like that is. I actually I shouldn't.
Dude,
say
he
that.
moved
I don't know.
back.
I would rather. I would like to think that I would rather be in an airport than in prison. No, I'm gonna. Yes, I would rather be in an airport than prison. But, like, how do you? Yeah, it would be awful. At least you're not getting like TSA checked every single time, and they're not taking your Pokemon cards out of the sleeves and stuff out of your binder.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
and having to
this-
go through each card and be like, I promise this is not a bomb. I promise this is not a bomb.
So this guy was in the airport before and after 9/11. So it was probably like super laid back before. And then like how
Yeah.
did he manage to stay
Then
in there
shit got
after?
real.
Yeah, I feel like they would like take him somewhere. Well, it was in a Paris airport. Like, yes, if it was in a U.S. airport, they might have had him like, yeah, go like to jail or something. I don't know. Does it actually say anywhere? Do you guys see how long he was actually in the airport?
So he landed in Charles de Gaulle Airport in near Paris in 1988.
No, not the actual person in this
Oh.
in this story of
In this story.
Victor
Oh.
Navorsky.
Oh, hold on.
I
Synopsis.
don't remember.
Synopsis.
I didn't think it was years. I thought, like, I don't. It could be, it might be, but I don't
think it
remember
was-
it being years.
Maybe like 1 year max, or like just under a year.
I thought it had to be. It like when I saw this movie as a kid, I thought he was there for a while.
I think I need to
I
rewatch
just
this now.
I keep seeing like the true story. I don't care about the true story. I want to know how long Tom Hanks' character.
No one cares about that.
How
This is a
long
comedy.
did Tom Hanks' character live in the terminal?
Yeah, they made him live in JFK.
Oh my gosh!
They just filmed him. It's like, here you go, Tom. Just run around JFK. Enjoy yourself. Just use an accent. Go.
Shoot. It's not. Wait. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's just say he was there for a decent amount of time.
Okay.
We need to get an intern that can like fact check the stuff for us.
Yes, we
Like-
do.
like, pull
We're
it
still
up,
working
Jamie.
on that.
Yeah.
No one's applied.
And you can
Let's-
support us on Patreon.
Let's call Aiden and get his thoughts.
Again.
I can't recall him because he's already technically in this call, but never answered. Okay,
bring him?
well, I think
can bring him.
we talked more about we've talked long enough about Victor Navorsky.
Yep.
Any other thoughts on the character?
Fun fact, this was the first Tom Hanks movie, live action Tom Hanks movie I ever saw.
Interesting.
I remember watching this when it came out in 2004. Like my dad got it. And as a family, we watched a lot of movies as I was growing up as a child. And when this came out, eventually, like on DVD or whatever, in like 2005, I finally saw it, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
Wait.
Catherine
So
Zeta-Jones.
the weird part about this was the guy. So they made this movie. The movie was released in 2004, but this guy was still living at the airport until 2006.
Yeah,
So
he's still living there. It's like, hey, we heard of your
So he
story.
was still
I know
there.
you're still stuck here, but
Oh. Do
were they
think
like
the
hoping?
movie-
Were they like thinking like, hey, putting this movie out like might shed some light that this guy's been at this airport for a long time?
Yeah. I
it's
wonder
like, hey,
how he
France,
felt
you got
about
someone
it.
who's been living in your airport for 18 years.
Wow.
Damn. Interesting.
Dang. Well,
All right. Well, I'm putting Victor Navorsky in my Rushmore airport.
good pick.
Um,
Good pick.
He is going to be in the 3 slot, rounding up those like carts things, the luggage carts. Trying to make money from those. If you've seen
I
the
like it.
movie, if you've seen the movie, you know.
I concur.
I concur.
That's like 2 like airport-esque movies.
Ooh. Maybe I'll
Would've been
go
the
with
theme.
another airport themed movie. My final pick.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Spoilers.
Cool. All right. It's Dan's turn.
Yeah. It is my turn. No one else can have it. It's mine. All right. Well, since you took my next pick of the terminal,
It's
'cause
crazy.
that was on
'Cause
my
I don't think
that
anyone
was
would
on
have
my
picked
list.
whatever your second pick was.
Fair enough. So I will go with a not a deep cut, but it is one that I absolutely love. And that is when he played Fred Rogers in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
I haven't seen this movie.
Oh, I have not seen it either.
I don't really.
It's
I don't.
so good.
I don't
Like
plan. I don't plan on seeing it either.
it is so good. Like just him, he played Mr. Rogers so perfectly.
I'm sure
It
he
was
did.
scary how good he did. I loved Mr. Rogers growing up as a kid. So when I saw that like during COVID this movie comes out and I'm like, or like right before COVID comes out and this movie comes out and I'm like, oh yes, please.
So
it's so good.
is the movie like an episode of Mr. Rogers, or is it like the life of Mr. Rogers?
So it is the true story of basically they're telling the story of this journalist who goes and interviews Fred Rogers. And if you know anything about Fred Rogers, is that once you meet him, he basically becomes your friend. No matter who you are, whatever, he will, like, this man remembered people's birthdays, remembered names, sent cards to kids and to adults.
Remembers
Like,
who the
anyone
second
who-
person on Mount Rushmore is.
He definitely does. But like it is just this wild true story, and it's so heartwarming and fun, and just go watch this, please. Like once you're done listening to this episode and the previous episode of What's Your Rushmore,
No.
and you've seen Forrest Gump,
No.
go watch this.
and Castaway.
And Castaway,
I'd say.
go watch this.
I'd say Catch Me If You Can.
There's a
Catch Me If
list.
You Can. Castaway. Forrest Gump.
I think at the bottom of that list is definitely David S. Pumpkins, but
No, do not waste your time with David
Yeah.
as Pumpkins.
it's only
like-
21 minutes. There's a David S. Pumpkins has a Halloween special plus 2 appearances on SNL. Like
Too much, man.
too much David S. Pumpkins.
I watched
I
2
do-
minutes and I was done.
Damn.
I watched 0 and I had no desire to watch.
But now
Yeah.
this man is definitely gonna have a David S. Pumpkins Funko Pop.
I don't know about
Mark
that.
my words.
That's when you know you've made it. Okay.
Cool. Where's Fred Rogers going?
Fred Rogers is going in the number 1 spot, George Washington.
Wow.
And he is just sitting there, putting his shoes on. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Okay.
I feel like Fred Rogers could have been a cult leader.
He wasn't. He was a very wholesome man who
man.
really, really, really enjoyed teaching children.
Yeah,
Make me
sure.
choke on my pop.
Okay.
And he was such a good advocate too for like
He must have had something like, even if it was like really like slight, like some like dark little secret that he just like did in
dude,
secret.
I am so ready for them to expose some deep dark Fred Rogers dirty secret.
Like it could be something as innocent, like he loves to jaywalk. I'd be like, oh yeah.
Oh no.
Every time he goes to like a 7-Eleven, he steals a packet of gum. The deep takes, the deep dark
Or like
secrets.
he was actually like he was like
Fred
drinking
Rogers.
like a rum and coke on set at all times.
To get into character.
Yeah, to get into
Tom Hanks. Oh man, like stepped on a bed of nails across a fiery
no, stepped on Legos.
fiery coal. Yeah. All right, cool. You know, Dan, I have nothing. Yeah,
Nothing? No.
nothing. I got nothing.
You've left him speechless.
You're enjoying my Rushmore, aren't you?
I'm really liking Paper's Rushmore. I'm liking my own Rushmore. I mean, I'm sure
Mine's
Forrest
just all
Gump
the
is a good
rejects.
movie. I'm sure Forrest Gump is a good movie. I think a lot of people that have seen Forrest Gump would probably agree that that's a good pick.
Yeah.
I know people like that movie. Yeah, Paper. Time for your third pick.
Okay. Before I make my pick, here's a hypothetical question.
Okay.
If Tom Hanks was asked about his favorite Tom Hanks characters and
Ooh.
performances, what do you think his number 1 pick is?
Well, clearly his documentary that he had, Castaway.
That's his second pick.
Oh, are you about to pick his first one?
You bet I am.
Is it like Oh, I don't want to start saying picks.
I think
Say it,
I
Dan.
know which one
you
it
get one
is.
shot. You get one shot.
I get one shot.
I'm gonna write
I'm not
down.
gonna get it.
You'd
You'd
be
be
surprised.
surprised. I was surprised when I heard him say it.
You know what? Is it him
he actually-
playing himself in the Simpsons movie?
No, it's not that.
Darn.
I'm gonna write.
Wasted a pick.
I'm writing it down on a piece of paper right now.
Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
I am ready.
So his number 1 pick is Jimmy Dugan from A League of Their Own.
All right, I didn't get it. I'll show you after the episode which
Okay.
What your pick was?
what my thoughts were.
Oh yeah, his baseball movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one.
Have you guys seen this?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever heard of it. What's it called?
I have never seen it, but I know of it.
I think Troy, you would really like it because it's about baseball. So like Tom Hanks' character, he becomes like the manager of like one of the first all women baseball teams. And like at first he's like, oh, this is like, he should be coaching in the majors, he shouldn't be doing this. But then he gets to realize like the women actually have a lot of talent, and he like gets committed to the team and like coaches them, and they actually like end up like winning the big thing against the other top women's team.
What's the name of the movie?
A
A League of Their Own.
A League of Their Own.
Yeah, 1992.
1990.
It's actually, you know what? Similar to what you were saying about Saving Private Ryan. If you look at the cast, like there's a lot of like big names. Like I think the main lead woman was Gina Davis. They had Madonna.
Yeah, Madonna's in this.
Rosie O'Donnell, Ann Cusack. And then if you look at like the male cast, they also had like John Lovitz and like Bill Pullman, like
And
all those like
Ramsey.
big names. Yeah.
Oh,
So it was one of those like star-studded casts, and yet like Tom Hanks in his role as the kind of like, you know, he's the lead character, but he's also kind of a support character. Like he brings out the best in all the other characters and kind of enables them and their characters to really kind of have their moment in the story, which I thought was really cool.
cool.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's a interesting.
reason-
yeah.
the reason why this is his number one favorite film is because he got to play baseball all summer long when they were filming it.
Huh.
And so he had his family with him, and they were, I forget which state they were in, but it was like some southern-ish state. And he talked about how, you know, they would film, and then they would go to Burger King, and then they would go to Dairy Queen, and then they would play baseball, and it was just like a fun family summer. That's why he really enjoyed that movie. Yeah,
Fun.
highly recommend it.
I like it.
It's,
yeah, I'll try to watch it.
It's a little bit dated. I think there's a lot of sexist things in there, but
Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the early '90s.
yeah, and even then it was like I don't remember the time period that it actually took place, like the movie, but it was like the 20s, 30s, maybe 40s. But so yeah. And then in terms of how I'm gonna put it on my Mount Rushmore, I'm gonna put it in my second position, since Tom Hanks loves it so much. And it's just gonna be Tom Hanks throwing a baseball. You can play catch with him. You know, he's just there to have a good time with you.
Very
And
cool.
that's my third pick.
Great pick, Paper. I like it. This was definitely not on my radar because I haven't seen the movie, but it seems like a good movie to watch.
Tom Hanks' favorite. Can't go wrong.
Time for your last pick.
Better be a good one.
Yeah, I've got a couple to pick from, and I don't know which angle I want to go.
There's another
Don't
at
pick-
least 5 Tom Hanks movies out there.
At least.
There's way more, but like in terms of like,
But there's at least
just
5.
don't pick the one I'm gonna pick next. That's all I ask of you.
you know what? We're gonna go a little rom-com with this one, I think.
Ooh, I like it.
Good. Go definitely go rom-com.
Ooh.
So I'm not normally a big fan of rom-coms, but I like this one in
Please
particular.
pick the one I'm thinking.
Maybe not be, but
Oh.
I'm gonna go Joe Fox, You've Got Mail.
Oh,
You've got mail.
I was really hoping you'd go with a different one.
I think I know the one you're thinking of, but I actually like this one better.
I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
You should watch it. I'd say it's not top tier.
It's on
not
Netflix
saying-
right now. Okay.
You know, if you've got other Tom Hanks films to watch, I would watch those first. But you know, you're feeling like you want something a little lighter, a little, you know, romantic, a little
But
90s romance.
If I happen to be in Seattle and I can't sleep, I might watch a different one that I like better.
That's fair. I mean,
Yeah, true.
yeah, I really like this one just because it all starts out with the idea of like meeting someone in I think it was like a Yahoo chat room, and then like sending mail letters to each other. Like it's such
Sorry.
a innocent,
We need to circle back there. What kind of chat room?
like a Yahoo chat room. You know,
Okay.
back in the
Yahoo?
days when,
Don't you mean AOL?
or AOL. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been
It
AOL.
had to be AOL.
Yeah.
Like
Paper, can I just get you saying the slogan of the first chat room that you said?
Of Yahoo?
Yeah. Just doing like
Did they-
the
What
like
is
the
it?
whole thing where they say the name like no.
I don't think I even know the Yahoo one. Don't they just go like Yahoo?
Yeah.
yeah, you
Okay.
got mail. You got mail.
Yeah, You Got Mail as AOL. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, because like at the time, like it's the 90s, so like everyone basically only had AOL internet.
true. In the States, yeah.
Yes, that is okay. Yes, that is fair. You got me there.
Yeah. I love how innocent of an idea chat rooms were back then.
AKA, you've got paper.
Yeah. A little picture of papers in the chat room. A little ASL action going on. Yeah, so this movie I really liked it as a kid for like the rom-com side of things. But when I rewatched it as an adult, I don't know, maybe it's because it's like dated and like just like 90s style rom-coms are like not real.
Not your jam.
Well, just like they're just so over the top and fake, right? Like nothing
Well,
like that
yeah.
happens.
It's the 90s.
But when I watched it recently, you realize like how big of a dick his character is. Like he's this rich guy, he's like emotionally cheating with this woman, like low key stalking her and like running her small business into the ground. And then at the end, he's like, "Oh, by the way, it was me." And then they like fall madly in love. And you're like, "What?"
It's like, excuse me?
And she's like, "I wanted it to be you." And then she like starts crying. And I'm like, "He just ruined your business. Like, what's going on?"
So confused.
Yeah.
You know what? I need to rewatch this. I have
It
not
takes
seen
a-
it in a very long time.
It takes
You
a
saw
different
this,
tone
but you didn't
as
see
an adult.
Castaway or Catch Me If You Can.
You know what career I'm in? Yes. Like, why wouldn't I have seen this movie?
You can get stuck on an island at any point in your life.
True.
That's
Business
fair.
trip.
And knowing how Tom Hanks did it in his documentary Castaway
Could save your life.
could save your life.
Yeah, so that's my last pick. Could have gone a couple different ways, but
Yeah.
No,
I
just
figured
gonna
a
send an
rom-com was
email.
good. See you in the chat room after this.
Hell yeah.
Fun. Okay. I'd like to point out that the clock just struck midnight for me. So
All right.
we are on to Dan's.
Sounds like it's on to my pick. Yeah.
Dan's last
All right.
pick here.
Okay. So, as much I have one on my honorable mentions that I will leave there because it is a movie that I love, but it is something that I love less than this movie. And I feel like it would be a crime for me to not share this movie with you guys because it is a hidden gem. Absolutely love this movie. And it is Tom Hanks plays a character named Michael Sullivan in the movie Road to Perdition.
What? Guess I have
So
to look this
funny
up.
enough, so I'll give you the little rundown. So Tom Hanks is a mob enforcer, and basically, so he's in the mob, and his family doesn't know, and his son witnesses a hit, and from there they are on the run from the mob.
Huh. Okay.
So it is just such a it's more art than it is like action, but it is so beautiful and
Daniel
such
Craig's
a
in this
fun
movie.
movie. Yeah, it's got this cast is stacked. It has Paul Newman, it has Daniel Craig. It's such a good it also has what's his face, Jude Law. It's such a good movie.
Seems like a movie I might like.
highly recommend it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, like this isn't one. So I saw this one in high school. Like we were learning about like I forget what it was, we were in history class, and I forget why we were shown this, but I just really remember the movie, and I really loved it. And I think I've seen this movie like 5 or 6 times. And it's just that good.
I know I've heard people talk about this movie and like this is a role where Tom Hanks kind of plays a more evil or like darker character
Yeah.
compared to like everything else where he's like just such a nice guy. But yeah, I haven't seen it. I should add it to my list.
I would highly recommend this movie. It is such a good, just, I mean, it's a good thriller and it's a good crime drama, but honestly, I feel like it's just more of a it's more of a work of art.
Yeah.
Nice.
What you gonna do with your Rushmore there?
Well, it's gonna have to be the famous shot of Michael Sullivan walking in the rain with a Tommy gun, doing some dark things.
Gotta have the Tommy gun.
Gotta have the Tommy gun for the Tommy Hanks.
Tommy Hanks gun.
Hell yeah. So yeah, that's my pick. If you guys
Fun,
have
fun,
anything
fun.
else,
No, I do
if you
not.
don't, Troy.
Seems like a good movie. All right.
You know, I don't know how I feel about Tom Hanks with a mustache like that. I need to think on that one.
Since I'm done and I can spoil picks because I know Troy
Whoa.
can pick whatever the hell he wants.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's giving me
Whoa.
Gonna
him-
steal his thunder.
Whoa.
seeing
Whoa.
him with a mustache reminds me of him playing
Don't say
Walt
it.
Disney.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you were gonna pick that movie, so
No. I
but
was
yeah,
not.
it's giving me like Walt Disney vibes.
I thought
Or
you were
another
gonna say
movie
a
that I
different
that I
mustache
think you're
guy.
gonna pick,
Oh my gosh.
and I'm not gonna say it. So, Troy, would you like to go
Yes, it is my turn.
before I
I'm
spoil
torn
your
between two movies, but in the end I'm going to pick the movie that I like better, that I've seen more times, that I really enjoy. So I am picking his character, astronaut Jim Lovell. Hope I'm saying that right.
Nice.
Based on a true story. Apollo 13. Now, the movie kind of makes it a little bit more dramatic, but in the end, it was a pretty crazy situation where these astronauts are stuck in space and have to come back. It was essentially a failed mission that turned into kind of a success story, in a way. But I just really like the movie. No matter how many times I see it, and you know what's going to happen, it still stresses me out. Like, oh my gosh, are they going to get back okay?
and then you
Running out of
realize it's
oxygen.
based off of Apollo 13, the real story, and yes, they do.
Yeah, and of course, the first time I watched it, I never actually, I didn't know anything about the mission, like Apollo 13, but the actual mission.
Yeah.
Because it was in 1969, and I wasn't alive then.
My dad was just born.
And I didn't really learn that yet. So he was the commander.
Yeah.
He was like the guy in charge, I believe.
He does that a lot. Natural
Yeah, he likes to
born
play
leader.
like captains and
If he's not playing a captain or a dad, he's just lost.
yeah,
I mean, he could play a toy cowboy, so that's pretty cool.
he can
he's-
play.
but
a
he's
toy
but he
cowboy.
is the captain of Andy's room.
I guess like a sheriff is kind of like a captain too.
Sheriff
See?
is
Yeah, interesting. There's a,
See, prove me wrong. Captain or dad? There's no in between, and if he is, he's lost. He's literally on an island.
Huh. What about the Terminal? My third pick.
Again, lost.
Oh.
Got him.
If he's not, okay, all right.
Yeah, if he's not a dad
I
or
see
a
you.
captain, he's
I
just
see
lost.
you. Yeah, Yeah, yeah. All right.
We figured him out.
What about the Post? Is he like a captain there,
The
or
Post?
Bridge of
What?
Spies? Huh.
I don't know. I'm sure he probably had some like equivalent title.
Definitely
probably.
not in Captain Phillips. He was not a captain.
He was
No.
definitely a dad and a
Definitely,
captain.
definitely a dad.
But
Even
yeah, no,
the
this-
Green Mile, he's like a sheriff, right? So it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It's always like an authority
Yeah.
figure. There
So
you
yeah,
go.
so
he's not
Troy,
really a
this
dad. He's not really a dad in Big, but he is kind of like lost in his body.
Was, see,
All right.
see.
I think
All
you're
right.
onto something there, Dan.
But yes, I would like to say that this movie, this is the pick I was debating between. It was between Apollo 13, and the Road to Perdition.
You know, when you were making your final pick, I had like zero. I had 100% confidence that I was just going to be able to pick whatever I wanted for my final pick. But you saying that
Dan-
you were considering Apollo 13.
Yeah, it was my 50-50 because I
Makes
do
me
love
reconsider.
Apollo 13, but I just don't love it as much as I love Road to Perdition.
Who picked the most recent movie? I think that
I
must
think
be
that was
Dan,
me.
The
Yeah,
2009
with Beautiful Day in the
movie.
Neighborhood.
But before that pick, I mean, not counting Toy Story 4, or Toy Story 3.
No.
Technically, David S. Pumpkins in 2016.
Yeah, mine are all from the 90s.
My earliest one's 2004.
Dude, I spanned the entire well, not all of it. I didn't hit any of his movies from the 80s.
I have
but
2004, 2002, 2000, and 1995.
94, 2000, 2016/2017, and 2019.
Yeah. Did either of you, going back to Apollo 13, did either of you at any point in your life want to be an astronaut?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. I had no
I still
desire
do.
ever.
Dude,
I saw them
sign me up.
spinning-
Send me to Mars.
So I saw the spinning machine, and then I did that at Epcot.
And you're
I'm
like, no, I can't be
I'm
an
like,
astronaut.
No, I'm like, I'm not. Like, I don't
This
like
ain't it.
roller coasters, let alone like.
Mom, I flew up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And like, I'm pretty decent at math. Like, I think if I really like wanted to be an astronaut, I could have probably taken more math classes and like just really studied math and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. Not really for me.
It's fair.
But that's okay. I feel like I would just get really claustrophobic.
True.
And
Yeah.
Not that I have like a fear of claustrophobia or anything, but I feel like that would happen a lot being like an astronaut. Like you have this like almost this helplessness feeling of claustrophobia or you're claustrophobic.
Yeah. And there's nowhere you can go to like
Yeah,
alleviate
yeah.
it. Like
In space,
Yeah.
no one can hear you scream.
There's been some really good just space movies. I don't want to go on too much of a tangent here,
future
But-
episode maybe?
but yeah, it might be a future episode. Let's do that instead of going on a tangent. So yeah, let's go ahead and recap our Rushmores, but I also want to do honorable mentions as well as the question I asked at the very beginning of what
Right.
Tom Hanks' character, or like what role you'd want to see him in. Either a character or like what you'd want him to play. So we'll go reverse order. So Paper, what is your final Rushmore?
Okay, so for my number one position, I've got Captain John H. Miller, Tom Hanks, sitting in a chair listening to the beautiful French music before the chaos hits. In position number two, we've got Jimmy Dugan from A League of Their Own. It's Tom Hanks just throwing a baseball with you back and forth. Some nice catch. Position three, we've got Tom Hanks dressed up as Woody, and there's a cardboard cutout of Bo Peep, so you can get your picture taken with him.
Aw.
And then in the fourth position, it's Joe Fox from You've Got Mail, so Tom Hanks. And I think what I'll do there is there'll be a little bookstore that you can pretend to own, and then Tom Hanks comes in and just like throws money at you, and then like wipes your tears away with his handkerchief, and you fall in love with him.
It's
It's an experience for the women mostly, but
Okay.
guys can enjoy it too.
And for you. But yeah.
For me personally, yeah.
All right, Dan,
that's
what's
my
your
Rushmore.
Rushmore?
so my Rushmore. It will be in the.
It's like a
You
chore.
seem sad about
you're
it.
like, oh, this is what I have? Okay.
I'm just sad the episode's over.
It's not over. We
Man.
still have honorable mentions and a huge question to talk about.
I know, fair enough. You got me there. All right, number one in the George Washington spot is good old Fred Rogers putting on his shoes. Then in the Thomas Jefferson spot, we have David S. Pumpkins crossing his fingers, doing finger guns. In the third spot, we have our boy Michael Sullivan just walking with his Tom Hanks gun. And then
His Tom Hanks gun?
Tommy gun. Yeah.
Tommy Hanks gun, yeah.
His Tommy Hanks
Tommy
gun.
Hanks gun.
And then finally, we have the one, the only Forrest Gump, just sitting there on his bench,
Is he sitting or
Wow.
is he running? Is he
sitting
always
there.
running?
No, he's sitting. He's just
Okay,
sitting
so-
there with his box of chocolates and a ping pong paddle and his worn down Nike shoes, waiting to go see Jenny.
You know,
who
I was
lives
willing to
2
bet
blocks
money.
from the bus station.
I was willing to bet money that you were going to pick either the movies Big or one of the two movies, either Big or The Man with One Red Shoe. I just felt like
No,
you were going to pick one of those two movies. But I was wrong. I was wrong.
I got
All
some
right,
pretty good
time,
deep cuts.
Time for my Rushmore. In the one slot from the amazing movie Castaway, we have FedEx executive Chuck Noland, but he's no longer really the FedEx executive in this one. He's kind of removed from that. He's gone a little crazy almost. He has Wilson there with him, just kind of hugging Wilson, stranded on the island. And there on Mount Rushmore, there'll be a Wilson store where you can buy Wilson volleyballs, tennis balls with the handprint there, just like the
A
movie.
little bit of Tom Hanks.
A little bit of Tom Hanks, where Tom Hanks will actually personally cut his hand and put a bloody handprint on,
Wow.
on each volleyball.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's commitment.
it's crazy. Yeah, instead of like a line for him to sign things, he just puts his bloody hand on there. Okay. Anyways, number in the 2 slot here we have from the amazing movie Catch Me If You Can. We have FBI agent Carl Hanratty, with his top hat. He's kind of like looking at a check, kind of bewildered, trying to figure out if it's fake or not. 3 slot, Victor Navorsky from the movie Terminal. He's collecting those baggage cart things that you trying to get some money for those. 4 slot, astronaut Jim Lovell from Apollo 13. He has his astronaut suit on, and he's given like a salute. And
So patriotic.
and there on the mountain you can do that spinny thing that they have at Epcot.
Oh,
you
like
go
the
to, like-
G-force training.
Yeah, exactly. You can do your G-force training right there.
Nice.
That is my Rushmore.
Beautiful. I like
All
it.
right. Before we do honorable mentions, I want to get to this question that I asked at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And should I go? Do you want me to go first? Is that cool? Because I got
Yeah,
mine.
sure.
already
If you
planned
steal
out?
mine, I'm gonna be so sad.
Oh,
So I have an
Well.
idea.
well, in this one, he's neither lost or a captain. He's a dad. I want to see him play. I don't know if it would be. Let's go with live action. Let's go with live action.
Oh
I want him to be Ash Ketchum's dad.
God, you took mine. No, I had that idea. I was like, yo, he'd be so good as
But
Ash Ketchum's
before-
just imaginary dad.
But before Ash Ketchum was born, like this is like pre-Ash,
Pre-dad.
pre-dad.
like his-
So is he
His
lost?
adventures as like a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah,
Oh man, Pokemon needs to get on this right now.
right now you
This
heard
is a
you heard it
gold mine
here.
right here.
You heard it here, folks. Could be a Netflix show. HBO would pick this up, I'm sure.
Yeah, get on it, Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then it
All
can turn
right.
into like a rom-com when he meets his Ash's mom.
Yeah.
And Professor Oaks gets just jealous or something. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you took mine. That was the one I had. I was like, yo, this would be. But also,
Amazing.
I recently just watched the new hit TV show Fallout. I don't know if you guys seen it.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the last
Not yet.
episode. Yeah,
Not
it's
yet.
really
So,
good. It's really good.
I think honestly, after watching that, I think he would have made a really good vault overseer.
I think so too. I think so too. Yeah. All right. I don't want to talk too much about Fallout because that is a phenomenal show. I really like
Yes.
it, and I never played
Yeah.
any of the games.
Really?
What? Oh my
yeah.
god!
Yeah, and I think the show's great. It like makes me want to go play the games. So
The
Yes,
games
go
are
do it.
good. Yeah.
yeah. I tried to play Fallout 4, but I got bored of it after like
Go play.
an hour of
Go play
playing,
New Vegas.
so-
New Vegas is the best one.
Yeah.
But I
Highly
feel like the
recommend New
graphics are
Vegas.
like not. I'd be.
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's better than Skyrim. Just don't worry about it.
Ooh, those are hating words. Skyrim's one of the best games of all time. All right. Paper, do you have an answer for that question?
Yeah, I had a couple ideas. I think like the first thing that came to mind is like I think Tom Hanks would do really well in like a Ghostbusters movie.
Oh,
Ooh, okay.
I feel like he would
Interesting.
just like fit in and vibe so well.
I
So
think
you're going the captain route. Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
I had another one that popped into my head. What if he was in like one of the ocean movies?
Actually, that could be pretty cool.
Oh,
Would he be a captain? Would he be a dad?
I don't know.
He could play
He'd be
anyone in that
lost.
movie.
He's just
Yeah.
lost.
Just be lost.
He's just a
lost.
background character lost in the casino.
Yeah.
Yes, but I also was thinking like maybe seeing him in like more of like a darker like psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Like if he was in like, I love Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo, but it'd be interesting to see Tom Hanks take that role.
I want to replace every movie that Leonardo DiCaprio's been in, but with Tom Hanks as the lead. So Titanic, just switch roles and Catch Me If You Can. What was the one that he finally won the Academy Award for with that like with the bear scene?
Revenants or something.
Yeah, but Tom Hanks in
Hanks.
Shutter Island.
Oh, that would be. I would
Dude,
love
Tom
that.
Hanks, Inception.
Yeah, no, Tom Hanks in Inception.
That would be good too.
I really like Dan's answer of the vault of the vault
overseer?
I love that so much because I can picture that so.
He'd
well.
just be so blissfully unaware.
yeah.
Just like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Dude, the vault's great.
All right, time to talk about honorable mentions. We pretty much talked about all the
Yeah.
ones that I
Yeah.
liked. The only movies that we didn't really go over, made reference to it a couple times. Sleepless in Seattle is one of my favorite like rom-coms.
Yep, that's a good one.
And I thought Bridge of Spies was pretty good.
That's
Not
on my
like
honorable list.
not like top tier Tom Hanks, but I thought it was a fine movie. And then Captain Phillips and also Sully are kind of on equal
Yeah.
playing fields with me as
Yeah.
well, where they're just like not the greatest movie, but he did a good job in them. Like I didn't really like the movies that much, but I think he played the actor really well. But I didn't really like those two movies that much.
Fair.
My list was pretty similar, but I also had like The Green Mile, Turner and Hooch. That's kind of a bit of a throwback, buddy cop movie. And what else did I have? Sleepless in Seattle. And oh yeah, The Da Vinci Code. I really like that movie.
Yeah.
Never
I had the Da
seen
Vinci
that.
Code on my honorable mentions.
It's good. Like I think I like the movie more than like Tom Hanks specifically, but he does a good job in it.
Big is good too. Thought it's like an interesting concept for a movie of like a kid just becomes an adult all of a sudden. Because when we were kids, I'm sure we all had that like thought of like, oh, I just want to be an adult.
I want to be a big boy.
I just want to be big boy,
You want to be big boy.
big kid. But then you have like you don't think about responsibilities and all that stuff that goes along with it. The movie that I jokingly picked on this piece of paper that I wrote down when Paper said, "What movie do you think Tom Hanks really enjoyed doing?" I wrote down Pinocchio. I think he really enjoyed playing Geppetto or whatever his name
Geppetto, yeah.
is. Yeah,
Maybe he did. Really got into character for that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other honorable mentions?
I do have to say, I did not know that Tom Hanks was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt. If you guys know what that is.
I do not.
So it is a horror anthology
Yeah.
similar to Goosebumps or what Paper, you might be more familiar with this one. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. So instead of it being kid focused, this one was on HBO back in the 90s. And I didn't watch any Tales of the Crypt or Tales from the Crypt until I was like an adult. And they're honestly very fun. And I didn't realize Tom Hanks was in one.
There you go.
Season 4, episode 1.
Okay.
Did you know Tom Hanks was in Cars?
Yes,
No.
I did know this one.
What
He
did
was the Woody car.
Really?
Yeah.
So he plays Woody in 2 different movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was
Whoa.
the joke
Oh, is that the joke?
for Cars.
Oh. It's pretty funny. All right. Any final thoughts for this one? This was pretty fun talking about some good movies. I think Tom Hanks, phenomenal actor, doesn't really get the recognition that he deserves a lot of times, in my mind. I think people probably around the industry like him,
Yeah.
but I think he does play some of the movies are just kind of like silly, and he does play that he's either a dad, he's a captain, or he's lost. But I like him. I think he's phenomenal. I think his movies are great. I think he's a great actor. So
I also
Good top.
appreciate
Yeah.
that he's a nice guy. Like there hasn't been anything in like the tabloids of him like doing anything inappropriate.
Dude, I was so sad when he got he was like basically like the first famous person to get COVID.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, is he gonna die?
yeah.
Then he was fine.
He was like, wasn't he stuck filming his movie or something? Like
He was like filming a movie, and he's like, "Yeah, me and my wife just started feeling sick, and then we were like, yeah, we got it." And
I think he was filming the movie Greyhound. It's the right time frame, I think.
yeah,
I never saw that. A lot of the newer movies I just haven't seen of his. I'm not even sure if I've seen Toy Story 4. I feel like I did, but I can't
you
remember
need
what
to
the plot.
stop what you're doing right now and go.
I
watch
think I
those
have.
movies.
I just don't. I can't like recall like what happened.
It has the best toy Forky in it, man.
Right, yeah.
Forky is the best character that they
feel like I
ever
remember-
made.
I remember Forky, so that I must have seen that movie. Okay. I mean, 2019 is is actually a long time ago. Like
5 years, man.
it's COVID really. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for making it to the final segment and listening to all our shenanigans. I said it again because I'm making up for the fact that I didn't say it early on. And all that stuff. We are hopefully going to be back with some more. We are getting closer to episode 50. Episode 50, what I want to do is I want to do a Rushmore on Rushmore.
Is this spoilers?
No. it's
Spoilers?
Rushmore on,
No?
Rushmore on Rushmore.
Oh, are we? You want us to Rushmore our Rushmore episodes, or just Rushmore the four
No.
presidents?
Rushmore, individual Rushmore, like mountains that people have had on the episodes.
Oh,
For example,
okay.
this might not necessarily be my pick. This definitely won't be my pick. My pick would be Dan's Tom Hanks characters list from episode 47.
Right. So it's the entire Rushmore
It's you're
of an episode.
picking the Rushmore of
Gotcha.
a Rushmore.
be
Your
like-
Rushmore.
it's like-
You're making a rush. It's like a. There's going to be. It's like little tiny mini faces.
It's like a
So
Rushmore
there's-
inception.
It's a rushception. There's
Whoa.
essentially going to be like 16 faces on a mountain.
We have a fractal, but it's all just Rushmore faces.
Crazy. Rushmore of Rushmores. So that should be episode 50. I do want to do conspiracy theories sooner rather than later. And we'll mix something else in there too. I know my co-workers and friends, Miranda and Sam, we want to do potatoes as an episode. So we've had that planned. We've had that planned for a while. Just haven't been able to find a time to record that. So yeah, a lot on the horizon. Be sure to subscribe, follow, whatever, so you can continue to listen. And it pops up in your feed when an episode comes out. All right. Well, I guess there's only one more question to ask then.
Oh God, what is it?
What's your Rushmore?
Oh,
Bon voyage.
Sorry, Wilson.